Hello and welcome to the VCR podcast with me, Mike Trower. I'm here to help you on your video journey, giving you information, tips, advice and coaching to help push your video content to help grow your business. And today I'm going to be talking about a homeless shelter that I was in. I was in for about 6 weeks in 2018. And I'm going to be talking about the strategy that I created while I was in that homeless shelter. So, back when I was in a homeless shelter with my children, I created a plan to make sure that I never ended up in a place like that ever again. Talking about this is quite difficult for me. And I like to talk about it because it helps me. I know that it helps other people who have been in the situation. I know that it helps other people who are in the situation. And I know that it helps people who have known people who have been in that situation who don't talk about it. I was in a homeless shelter with my two children. My daughter was 9 months old. My son was 2, nearly 3. It was very difficult. It was horrible. We had nothing. I had a sterilizer with some bottles for my daughter because she was still bottle feeding. I had a cardboard box with some cars in, some little Hot Wheels cars for my son. And it was very, very difficult for us to... It's very difficult for me to come to terms with, like, this is the position that I'm in. The reason why we were there wasn't because of bankruptcy. It wasn't because of money issues at the time. I was broke, don't get me wrong. But it wasn't, we didn't end up there because of failing a business or anything like that. I ended up there because of fleeing a domestic violent relationship. And, you know, I did what I had to do to take myself out of a situation and to start healing all parties involved. I'm always grateful that I had somewhere to go to. I fled my hometown of Birmingham. I drove south to Torquay. I spoke to some housing people there. None of my family lived there. So it was very difficult for me to restart. I missed home. I missed my parents. I missed my sisters. I missed my brothers. I missed my uncles and aunties. I missed my family's business. I missed the roads that I were brought up on. I missed knowing where the local supermarket was. I missed knowing where the post office was. All of these things that we take for granted. All of these places, you know, you've got a leaking tap. You need to get a new one from B&Q. And then I'm like, where's the nearest B&Q? I had no idea. It was difficult, but I was always grateful that I could run somewhere with my children. But it really was, as crap as it sounds, it really was a shelter for the homeless. In that shelter, I wrote a plan. A business plan, or it was more of a content plan, to be honest with you, than a business plan. This was my first ever strategy, and I spent probably 3 weeks writing all of the things that I wanted to do and how I was going to do them. I was also writing a diary at the time, and my diary was all about things that I was feeling, about social services, about court cases, about all the different things that we were going through as well. But I was also writing this strategy of how I could make my video project at the time, which was a cooking show with my children, how we could make that show amazing. So, and to the point we could monetize it so that we would never have to be in a homeless shelter again. The mindset that I had when I was in that homeless shelter still stays with me today, 4 years later. It's all about the things that I wanted to do and how I was things that I wanted to do and how I wanted to do them. But this When I create my content strategy, I always imagine I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I put all my determination and passion into it. So every time I create a content strategy for my business, I go back to how I was feeling in that homeless shelter. And I think, like, if it doesn't work, what's going to happen? If I don't hit my target, I'm going to hit below it, right? If I don't make a target, that's what I'm going to hit. So if I think, well, I've got nothing to lose, I'm going all in. I'm doing everything, right? I'm going to just do it. As long as I'm capable and it's not going to kill me, then why can't I do it? What's the point in me creating a little plan to survive? This homeless shelter was me surviving. I was in survival mode, right? Why would I want to survive when I could thrive, where I could buy a car and where I could have my own flat, where I could go on a holiday, where I could shop at, go to a supermarket instead of a food bank? Why would I want to just survive? Why would I make a plan to survive? Right, today's plan is, or this year's plan is, I want to make, enough money that I am just comfortably in survival mode. So let's pretend that we are going to create a plan for survival. Okay, so I need to find out where my local food banks are and what times they operate. I need to find out how long I can stay in a homeless shelter before I have to look for a new one or a hostel. I need to find out if I can take my children to school, if I'm in temporary accommodation, or whether I've got to be a permanent homeless resident to be able to get schooling for my children. This is all survival stuff. Like, why would we plan to survive when we could plan to thrive? Like, there is nothing to lose. I'm planning to shop at Aldi. I'm planning to get a cheap car. I'm planning to get a small flat. I'm planning to be able to take my kids to school every morning in my car. I'm planning to buy them new uniform this year instead of second-hand. I'm planning on going to Clark's to get their feet measured instead of going to Asda and just getting some £5 trainers. Let's think about stepping up the figures, right? Let's go to the next level, right? I want to shop at Marks and Spencer's. I want to get a 3-bedroom semi-detached house. I want a car for me and a car for my girlfriend. I want to be able to take my kids to school every day and buy them good shoes 3 or 4 times a year. I want them to have a new bike for Christmas. I want to be able to take them to Disneyland Paris in August. So let's think about the next step. If I'm in survival mode, but I planned for Marks and Spencer's mode, I'm definitely going to hit my Aldi mode. That's like, if I'm planning with nothing to lose, I'm going to go big, right? I'm not just going to go what I think I'm going to get. I'm going to go like next level, what I'm wishing for, my best. The mindset that I had in that homeless shelter sticks with me every single day. 4 years later, I want to create a content strategy, believing in myself that I can achieve anything that I put my mind to. Because when I was in that homeless shelter, everything seemed impossible. But I did it. I created a plan. I created a plan to make one of the best cooking shows that was around at the time. We were then featured in the press globally. We were in newspapers, magazines, TV, news reports, radio, podcasts. We were featured in lots of places because of the way that the content was delivered. We didn't invent anything new. We were just cooking. We were learning how to cook. I wasn't even an expert at it. I was literally learning how to cook on video. But it blew up because of the way that we came across, the way that my strategy was, the way that the content was created. My cameras were terrible. I was using a really old phone. There was nothing professional about it at all. I had a £30 laptop that I was uploading from, using the hotspot from my phone, so it was uploading in standard definition. So like the video quality was terrible, but people still watched. People loved it to the point where we were seen everywhere. The strategy was there and it blew up. If you want to create a content strategy for your own business, I can help you do that. So I've got this massive document that I use for that. I can help you create video content and put video content into your strategy. But when we're creating your strategy, I want you to think of a time in your life that you were very upset in, quite depressed in, that you felt broke in. And I want you to try and imagine that I want you to try and imagine that mindset. I don't want you to be so deep in that mindset that you hate money and money is the devil and only posh people have money. I want you to be in the mindset of, I'm going to make this happen. Like I am determined. I am passionate. I am a doer. I'm a hyper doer. I'm going to get this done, right? I'm going to soar. Let's look at your plan from last year. Let's make a better plan for this year. Let's get your strategy sorted. Let's get seen. Let's get heard. Let's get that mindset sorted. We're going to be making money. We're going to be growing our business. We're going to be creating amazing content multiple times a day, all to thrive, not survive. We're going to go big. So let's do it. If you need help with your content strategy, then please let me know. I'm absolutely here to help. Just click on the link in the show notes. If you need any help with anything else to do with the video, then please just head over to my website and let me know. If you're listening to this, on the podcast, then please head over to the YouTube channel as well, where you can watch the entire video and you can see all of the other podcasts as well. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.